Told you guys I was playing a game of Snood. You started the show anyway. I was playing a game of Snood. So
good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Business
List. Your source for stories inside the party, across the country and around the world. I was told to humanize myself for my campaign, and what's more human than playing Snood?
We've all been there, trying to look like we're not on our phones and we're supposed to be engaged in the conversation.
Exactly.
Other than Amanda Soul, no one here is old enough to be playing Snood anymore.
I don't know what that is.
And I'm like puzzling. Look at that.
Pretty sure I'm probably older than all of you.
You have to shoot all the Snoods down. It's like a puzzle game, and you have to match the Snoods.
Oh, well, I'm familiar with the game, but I didn't know that's what it was called.
Yeah, it's called Snood.
Well, this is a game that was released in 1996.
My sister played it on her computer after my parents threw away her calculator because she had downloaded a Penguin game on it. My name is. We were gonna do pre-show banter, and then you just went and rolled with it. It was gonna be a whole thing as you playing Snood. We were gonna lighten the mood before going into the harder stuff.
Yeah,
my name
we've
is
had
Amanda
such
Griffiths.
a slow news week that we're just gonna do game talk and game reviews, media stuff.
Snow news week too. My name is Amanda Griffiths. I'm joined by Jake Porta. I'm joined by Rose Leatherman. I'm not joined by Kyle Davis. He's just here. Everyone, how are you? As I finish this game of Snood. Definitely listening to you all. How are you?
Oh, doing great. How about you?
Trying to retain what's left of our sanity, I think.
I don't know why you would do that. I feel like retaining one's sanity only makes things more difficult in these trying times.
Yeah, true.
So, what? We were gone for a week. We took a week's hiatus, somewhat against our will. So we have a few things to cover because the world just moves on and on and on. In the first place, we do have some conventions to recap. And we want to start with Georgia. Now, this was a couple weeks back, to clarify, but Kyle is our very own Georgia correspondent, and that's why we keep him here. Kyle, what can you tell us about the convention in Georgia?
Momentum is very good in Georgia. So there's a 23-person XCOM in Georgia. 19 of the people on it are directly part of LP Allies. 3 more are either neutral or leaning toward us as far as their votes and everything else. And so, we were effectively sitting at basically 22 out of 23 people. It's kind of wild, realistically. There's a good argument to be like, oh, well, I don't want to have everyone be in the same team and everybody. That's already true, right? It's the way LP Alliance works is that everybody is really, really wide. We have people who are Mises, we have people who are CLC. We've got
very wide.
Everyone's wide.
You just called everyone in LP fat. Everyone.
This is what
look at how wide the shot is for Jake, and how wide I am, just because I'm fat. And Amanda's apartment is wider than it is anything else. Bigger this way than it is this way or that way.
You don't know that.
I do.
You don't actually know how tall the
There's a window in
ceilings
front of you, and there's the back wall behind you. Anyway, as Joe Hanush has pointed out, Chase Oliver for governor. This is an interesting anecdote here. Someone nominated Chase. Chase set up was like, guys, I can't. By law, you can only have one FEC account open. I'm still paying off my other one. Sorry, too bad. And the absolute monster of a human being that is Ryan Graham. For those who are from LP Georgia, you know Ryan Graham. For those who don't, Ryan's fantastic. He's been a big help in Georgia repeatedly for the past decade. He was like, well, good news. Governor is intrastate and thereby doesn't require an FEC account. And everyone laughs. And Chase sits, and if you've ever seen Chase, when he has to stop and think, he kind of looks down and looks away for a second, and it looks back and is like, "I'm your gubernatorial candidate," and that's the whole thing. And then it was voted on, and I don't remember if anyone even said no to over Chase. I think it was unanimous. So Chase is the gubernatorial candidate, and this is actually really important for Georgia. Chase made it clear that he's he's putting in because we needed a gubernatorial candidate in Georgia. There's the state has tried very difficult. The state has tried its best to make it impossibly difficult for anyone other than the Republicans and Democrats to be on the ballot in Georgia. They are claiming that we need 88,000 signatures to get the party back on the ballots. And the only thing that knocked us off, despite the claims that it's Chase's fault, which is total bullshit, is that because of COVID, they got rid of our public service commission districts, which we don't even know what those are. Don't worry about it. Just do that. Basically, they get to decide whether or not we can increase our prices on utilities. Yeah, we vote for that for private companies because Georgia is very, very small government, not at all communist. So we're suing them. We're going after them. The state can get fucked, and what better way to go after the state than with the state? We're not playing their game on the 88,000 signatures directly. Instead, we are going after them in courts. And we have lawyers lined up and things. We've talked to the LNC. The LNC is backing us on this. The LNC is actually sending a whole bunch of representation to the next Georgia XCOM meeting. And we are making a big push to make sure that Georgia libertarians are back on the ballot and that, this is going through. So why does the gubernatorial candidate matter? Because without a gubernatorial candidate, we would not be able to have any real chance at that situation, right? Because you have to have someone who's in there. So Chase has stepped up. Chase has filled that role, and Chase will be our gubernatorial candidate, much to his boyfriend Josh's chagrin. But sorry, Josh, we need to Chase more. So that's the basics on Georgia. As far as our national delegation goes, 31 people. Of them, 25 are directly allied. 4 more are generally with us. 29 out of 31 ain't bad. Over the same weekend, the same day.
But Kyle, it's not half. Okay, so 29 out of 31 is still less than half, is what we learned. This is
yes, it's true.
We were told that we miscounted and that
That's an important thing to learn in our Michigan situation.
It's Trump math, you guys.
I'm going to explain. Mississippi's is way easier. We're going to do Mississippi first, then we're going to go into the juicy Michigan bits.
Michigan math, okay.
In Mississippi, pure sweep, straight up sweep. The Mississippi team did an incredible job. They got people in. They got some people motivated who haven't been motivated in years. They got people back into the party who have been sitting down. They took basically every delegate spot to the national, and it's actually a pretty wide spread of views there. Amy Misko has actually done a lot of work, and so did Farron and her husband. And Glenn Lewis, like the Mississippi team is great. And after seeing how far Mississippi had fallen back over these past few years, watching Mississippi come back and win so hard and starting to grow their party again is fabulous. This is exactly the things we've been talking about. This is all it takes. It doesn't take some mythical, everyone's the same unified vision. It takes everybody being like, no, fuck everybody who's not for the libertarian views. We're going to find the places we work together. We're going to work together. We're going to get shit done. Get shit done in solidarity. That's the libertarian way. That's the LPA way. Thank you, Amanda, for the solidarity. Anyway.
This is the weirdest. I'm sorry. Please continue.
And now for Michigan.
I think the most important lesson from Michigan is that 14 is half of 34. Actually, no, 14 is a majority of 34. 14 is more than half of 34.
And also, don't
don't
recruit neo-Nazis to the party because they'll end up not being able to show up in the first place because they have to spend a week or two in jail over missed child support payments. But also now it's on the record that you recruited actual neo-Nazis to the convention.
Rose, tell us
one
about
quick intervention. That. One quick interjection.
It's never a quick intervention. It takes forever. Everyone has to read letters. They have to say that they love you and they're concerned.
It's interjection.
Oh shit! Is this the part where you guys start reading?
Rose are very worried.
In Georgia, we literally filled out all but 2 possible spots for the entire state, race-wise. Ted Metz stepped up for Secretary of State, Mark Mosley for Agriculture Commission, Chase obviously for governor, Alan Buckley for U.S. Senate, Katie Gorn for lieutenant governor, and Katie, oh my goodness, Katie was saying that she would step up for a lesser role, and someone misunderstood what she was saying she'd step up for, and they nominated her for lieutenant governor, and she was like, you know what? If Chase is going for governor, fuck it. I'll go for lieutenant governor, and she stepped up. Incredible. And then Zane Placey, so Colin McKinney for insurance commissioner, who is an ER nurse out of Athens, Georgia, sort of Greater Athens. And then Zane Placey was the former secretary. Zane is, in fact, Mises aligned, and he's not our biggest fan. That's fine. I like Zane in person plenty fine. But
Phil, the monologue's
Zane
still
pointed
going on,
out...
if you haven't noticed. Sorry.
Zane pointed out...
Kyle's very
that-
excited about everything right now.
I am.
He's just
Hold
saying
the
names.
fuck. Hold your horses,
You don't
Amanda.
even know what he's okay.
So, Zane's running for the Fulton County Soil and Water Board. You go to their website, it doesn't tell what they do. None of their links work. None of their phone numbers
It's
work.
a fucking soil and water board. I'm sorry if I'm gonna match your energy right now. It's a soil
Fulton
and water
County is
board.
Atlanta.
No,
there
nobody
is no
knows.
soil and water in
Nobody
Atlanta.
knows who's in charge of their soil and water board. Nobody
Exactly.
Most people don't even know
And
they
so-
have a soil and water board. What are we doing?
And so Zane is running on the platform that we don't know what it does, and I'm running to find out. So that's his entire reason for running. It's fantastic. And in a similar vein, our vice chair, Brian Allen, got bullied into running, and they asked him for a speech, and he goes up and he's like, I have a pulse. And the whole room is, he has a pulse! And that's pretty much the entire situation.
Okay,
Because
Welcome
So-
to trying to recruit libertarians for
pulse.
anything.
Kyle, you're official.
having a
show.
pulse is better than a
Um,
Democrat or
So
Republican.
we're going to talk about conventions and not soil and water. We learned. So Rose, tell us about this neo-Nazi who's dodging his child support payments in Michigan.
Oh, well, I mean, I can only report on what was reported to me, but from what I understand, certain factions of the Michigan Party were very desperate for delegates, and they are recruiting people who, well, okay, there are a couple ways of looking at it. There's the slightly more charitable interpretation that they're just that desperate to get people, and then there's the less charitable interpretation that they're just going mask off because they think they can, because they think it's politically I guess acceptable to just recruit people who are openly Nazis and who got banned from the Republican Party. No other party would accept them, but yeah, imagine that headline. This guy who was kicked out of the Republican Party, but the Libertarian Party accepted him with open arms. Yeah, this is why gatekeeping is not a bad thing, people, okay? Certain amount of gatekeeping is not a bad thing.
Right, not gatekeeping based on like your ideology, but gatekeep. Well, that's not quite right. I'm sorry. Let me
I've
correct
had
myself.
to have this
Not
conversation.
gatekeeping based on your differences in libertarianism. Gatekeeping when you're a literal Nazi. Get out of here.
I've had
So-
to have this conversation with a bunch of people recently. See, there is room for a lot of variation within our principles, but we should not sell out on our principles themselves.
I also want everyone to know that, and worse news, LP Lines got absolutely crushed in Michigan, which is to say that the Mises Caucus brought so many excellent people.
Very fine people.
Very fine people on the Me Talks side, to the effect that Andrew Chatterton was the number 14 delegate alternate. That's right. There were so many excellent Me Talks delegate candidates that it took until 14 alternates to even get to Andrew Chatterton.
Let's
No,
hope they're not behind on their child support payments when it comes time for convention.
they have children? Or- That's okay. I'm childless. I can
That's
make those
the
jokes.
worst part of this whole
Um,
thing. Somebody chose to reproduce with that guy.
Excellent. So 34
Sometimes
delegates.
your
Michigan.
options are limited.
34 delegates.
They
Michigan has.
make tools for
And
that.
I'm just
They
gonna
make
talk. I'm
devices
just
for
gonna
that.
talk. Should I play Snoot or should I do a newscast? I don't know.
I was
Like,
excited and
Snooze
doing a
listened
good
to
job,
me.
and then you were upset.
Yeah,
and
you
wanted
were
to play
talking
Snoot,
about
and-
soil and water and all of this stuff. So
It could be
delegates
much worse
Michigan
because the other
has
people that we're against are talking about blood and soil.
the thing is that when we talk about allied delegates, we don't just mean delegates who aren't in the Mises Caucus. See, if LP Alliance were a caucus, I would understand that. But our allies include some people in the Mises Caucus. Obviously, not everyone in the Mises Caucus, just like not everyone in CLC is an ally. Just not everyone in the Radical Caucus is technically an ally, although I have yet to meet one who isn't. But we, in Michigan, had 20 of the 34 delegates that we consider allied. The Mises leadership counted 14 of the 34 delegates that they considered aligned with them and declared this a majority. Stuck to it. I will give them credit for doubling down. There was a post made about this from the So to Speak caucus where they talked about their majority of delegates, knowing that they had 14 delegates, were corrected on it and stuck with it, because that's the kind of tenacity that this party needs. Look, when you say that 14 is more than half of 34, you triple down. That's the only way to do this. In Trump country, in MAGA country, you got to triple down. You triple down on everything.
Just
Alex
declare
was
your opponents
charging everyone
terrorists
with a gun. Everyone else is a terrorist. He came to kill people. 14 is more than half of 34. Triple down. And
Just alternative facts.
I'm sorry?
Alternative facts.
Oh, yeah. Well, exactly.
alternative facts.
Exactly. It doesn't matter whether it's true. What matters is that it happened. Everyone, 14 is more than half of 34.
But isn't Michigan where they spent all this time and effort and had the executive director who was, of the Mises Caucus, who was part of the Trump's third term out there
Amber Harris.
whipping votes. So they put a lot of effort into Michigan. Just like they did Colorado.
That's old news now. It's just a given that Trump's going to have a third term. Now he's talking about his fourth term.
I will say, however, in a word of warning for all delegate selections, I have this from a reputable source that there were in fact enough votes to get everyone that allies wanted as delegates, and to keep anyone that they didn't want as delegates off. Again, hearing this from a couple reputable sources, people wanted to extend an olive branch, and so allowed some people that they were less fond of to serve as delegates as a gesture of goodwill. I cannot stress this
so many times
enough.
Yeah, see, we're the only ones behaving with honor here, and
gestures only meant to represent good faith never, I'm gonna speak categorically, never end well for the person making the gesture. In politics, it never does. Oh, let's sign a treaty. Let's work together. No, let's align on this particular issue and then look the other way for anything else that you're doing. No, let's let you into it. No. So it never works well. You have to hold your line. You have to hold your territory. I would say this to anyone who hates LP Alliance, that you probably shouldn't be making deals with LP Alliance. There are.
It's true. You'll end up in Zoom room 4.
Yeah, you will end up in the gulag very, very quickly if you make deals with LP Alliance, and we don't want to make a deal with you. But so don't be doing this when there's a party's future on the line, please. Don't be doing this so that you can sleep better at night. Again, if there is someone in a caucus that you don't align with, who is a cool person and that has the right interests, absolutely, let them in as a delegate. We're not differentiating collectively by caucus. But if there is an individual who has adverse intentions, do not let them onto a roster simply to signal good faith. That is an abandonment of principle.
That only works if the other side is operating in good faith. And all too often that's not the case.
So to speak, caucus did eventually explain what they meant by Mises won. And it's incredible. It's incredible.
They're going to recruit all the delegates to their side sometime in the next few months.
No, they literally claim that what they mean is that they meant Mises or Mises aligned in voting against, Evan McMahon. That was it. That's apparently all it takes to be Mises now. If you don't vote for Evan McMahon, you're Mises.
In which case, I know several people in LP Alliance who are Mises.
Oh shit.
It just
wow. That's a huge infiltration problem that we've got.
Holy shit.
I don't know if the people in the chat I don't know what the people in the chat are doing right now with me being consistent with the null hypothesis, but
it's because someone pointed out that Sai asked if we had a very high p-value, and I said that you have the highest p-value.
Okay, all right, fair.
This is because Amanda pees more than anyone else I've ever met. Thanks, internet.
That's getting clipped forever now. People are
it's great.
Gonna know that. Okay.
I intend to, if possible, get it on the big screen at National as a way to get Amanda elected. She pees a lot. Vote for her.
It's because I'm staying hydrated, working hard for you guys.
Yeah, hold the water bottle up. You want to see why she pees a lot? She goes through like 6 of those a day.
That's why I got these guns too.
Have you ever seen a communist drink water?
Yeah, exactly. The communists don't have water to drink, so ergo, not a communist because I have access to running water. Should we talk about Alaska? Alaska went well as well.
Yes.
Yes, Alaska. We have a supermajority. Is that correct? Yes. I'm on. According to Mises math, who knows, right? According to Mises math, I think we also got crushed in Alaska.
So for Alaska's board, the board is still leaning Mises. For national delegates from Alaska, we got 3 of the 5 spots. 3 people who were directly working with LPA, which is what we were going for. It's, we've said for a long time, national needs help. And so that's what's going on. It's good stuff.
All right. So those are our conventions.
There's one more.
That's right. Yeah. There is Arizona.
Arizona. So they're a desert. Also, they have
that's all we need to know, pretty much. They're a desert. They're otherwise irrelevant.
Some weird things happened. Rebecca Massey, who works with LPA, got blocked from voting because of some nonsense going on with they have precinct captains in Arizona, and legally you have to be a precinct captain to vote, but the state screwed Rebecca over and they decided not to go around the state for the Arizona convention. It was weird. But at the same time, part of the thing that was weird, before the convention happened, their chair stepped down and their second vice chair stepped up to actually be the convention chair. And then that night, their former chair sent a message out asking if she could just be chair again. And the board said, okay. And so nothing changed there. The vast majority of the delegates were people who are directly working with LPA, including Alex Flores, who we are hoping is going to do some work with us to help get the First Peoples around the country working closely with the Libertarian Party. And we're really excited for that. It's, Amanda and Rob spoke with Alex on a Solidarity stream 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
And so it was excellent work. So that's kind of where we're going is we have been fighting really hard to make sure that people are showing up to be national delegates. And this is all part of, the plan here of we're going to get 100 people who can't normally get to a national convention and don't get a voice to be at the national convention, which we're going to have a lot more details about soon. We're kicking off a major thing.
Expect
But when
me.
you
Mini
see the QR code next to Kyle's face that says support the LPA, that is all of the proceeds are going to that. It's not going to the overhead. It's not going to the Restream that we pay for. 100% of the proceeds.
That we pay for, she said.
100% because we are all one. In
It's
the People's
our
Republic of LPA stand.
Restream. Come
Oh,
on.
right. I
Yes.
forgot.
Yeah, all 100% of your donations go to getting people to Grand Rapids, and we're not differentiated by caucus. We're not doing some ideological test beforehand. We are trying to make sure that people who wouldn't otherwise have a shot at being a delegate because of it being so cost prohibitive are able to go. So when you scan that QR code, that's what you're donating to. You're donating to get people to Grand Rapids. So please do that.
Which the so-called Povertarian Caucus is now helping with. They routinely find ways to carpool, and they all share rooms together and try to work together for pizzas and everything else while they're there. And it's something that we're working on, and they're working with us at this point because they're excited about this. This is something they've been trying to do for a while, something we're passionate about too, obviously, and it's gonna be huge. And we've got an event coming up that is going to be something you're going to want to see and you're going to want to be part of, but we're not giving everything away yet. There's got to be some things done first, but keep watching socials. Make sure you're following X. Make sure you're following Facebook. Make sure you're following us here on YouTube. Make sure you can go watch the TikTok, and then when you realize that things aren't being posted on there, just yell at Phil. Directly at Phil.
Yes,
at Phil Ryan on
I
X.
thought all the
Phil
cool
is
kids were
messages.
deleting TikTok.
That's correct. In less spiky, wonderful news. So we did have another public execution within the past 2 weeks.
It's getting to be so routine now that we're like, oh, hey, another person gunned down in the streets by violent paramilitaries that are occupying cities, and this is just normal now.
This one was a very
They have not been able to effectively spin this one the way they could the last one.
well, so here's the interesting thing is because as I think just about everyone knows, we are talking about the killing of Alex Peretti, who is a 37-year-old nurse, and came to not even a protest. We were corrected on this last night. We were talking to Kara Schultz, neighborhood watch. So essentially, this is when people in neighborhoods that are being raided by paramilitaries come out and start blowing whistles and start alerting people to what's going on, and try and keep others safe. So Alex comes in, and Alex is a legal gun owner and is armed by
his concealed carry permit.
Yes, by all angles in that video. Does not brandish, does not threaten anyone, and is subsequently tackled, disarmed, and then we get 10 gunshots, most of which go into his chest. First aid is not performed in due
They're
fashion.
once
if at all.
again block people from trying to render medical aid.
Correct. And Alex Peretti dies.
Oh,
So
and as we found out today, ICE arrested dozens of people that watched the killing and held them for hours before taking their shit.
we knew that actually because there were statements that were made by these people, like court statements that were made. There were people who were taking footage and were then tackled.
They were held for hours just for being witnesses to misconduct by agents of the state.
Yes, and if anyone
They clapped as he died.
if anyone wants to get a better sense of these tactics and what to expect, if you are involved in something like this, do watch our stream last night, our solidarity stream with Kara Schultz, who is on the ground in Minnesota and has participated in some of these events and knows what ICE will do, knows what you can expect, and knows how you can try and prepare for some of their tactics. So please do watch that. But at any rate, yes. So we had the death of Alex Peretti, and of course, the narrative that initially emerged from the administration was this is a terrorist who came intending to do maximum damage. And what is so interesting is that they do know that that's not going to It's not going to hold. There are going to be
They-
videos.
The
But
body
For those who
want
want to see the Kara Schultz, it's right here. You can.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave that up for the next 30 seconds or so. So grab
the
that if
body
you want to
hadn't
see that.
even cooled yet when they were trying to frame the feds as the victims.
But the interesting
Well,
is,
I
think it doesn't
interesting
matter.
thing is that, well, but so we have footage now, right? 15, 20 years ago, we didn't. And so
they would have gotten away with it, which is what's
And
so
I
infuriating.
can't help but wonder how many things like this did the government get away with
Precisely.
a few decades prior. Like, we don't know. We don't know. Because it is so easy for them. It is second nature for them to put out that narrative. And it's not about convincing you that they're right. It's about giving you that propaganda, that permission to not think, right?
They could have said anything, though. They could have said that he
Yeah.
is an alien from Mars, and the Republicans, many of the Trump supporters, would just go along with it. They wouldn't
You
care.
cannot reason with these people. All the people who, like, 'cause I know there were people who voted for Trump because they thought maybe you'd have a slightly better economy or something. Those people have all largely left. Like, at this point, it's down to just the hardcore. And it basically is a cult at this point. At this point, it's the hardcore MAGA cultists. You cannot reason with these people. You'd have better luck trying to reason with a really dumb brick wall. Like, all they can do is spout the same lines over and over. Like, I have to, for the sake of what's left of my sanity, I have to tell myself that these have to be bots because there cannot be this many stupid people.
But
Some
sadly,
are
I know
bots.
many of these people, and I've known them for years. And at one point, they were what I thought were solid libertarians, some of which voted for me. And I hear them today say some of the most ignorant things. And it's like we're watching two different things. These are people that would have opposed the state. Well, they would have opposed the state back when Barack Obama was president.
Yeah,
But now
this
that
has
Donald
happened
Trump's
under
there-
Obama. Yeah.
They don't care. These were people that were terrified. I was terrified of stuff the Bush administration was doing, the Obama administration was doing.
Yeah, some of us
They
have
don't
been
seem to
screaming
care.
about fascism for years, and so many people who we think are our allies, as soon as the team that they more closely align with is back in power, they stop thinking and they stop caring because
But this is what authoritarians do, though. They divide us, right? And you've got to go and sides that you're going to ally with, you may not necessarily agree with, but it is going to divide people into, well, basically three camps. One camp that is on the side of the individual, liberal democracy. The other side that is going to be on the side of authoritarianism, as long as it's their version of authoritarianism, and then the people that just go quiet. And you see some of them doing this right now. I've even seen a state party within the Libertarian Party that, we should just read books. We should don't get in the way of the federal agents. And they're going to do the cowardly thing. And at the end of this, it's going to be like it was in every other authoritarian
Because
regime. We didn't know
Now
it was
is the
happening.
time.
We didn't
for
have any
book
part of it.
clubs, ladies and gentlemen. Now is the time to be reading books and staying at home and pretending so hard that if you just get offline, things will be better. No,
Yep.
if you just get offline, things will be real.
the state
Okay.
will happily give up the power that it has seized for itself as soon as they fulfill whatever objective they claim they need this power for. That's how it always works, right?
Speaking of reading,
Guys, let's focus. And I actually will publish my piece on propaganda either tonight or tomorrow on the Torch. But do check out the Torch. Do submit to the Torch. We have cool people submitting articles, new people. So we've got a couple new articles coming out, which is exciting.
she rejected another one of mine, though.
That's not quite true. You sent me a rough draft, and I told you what needed work.
He had to
namely-
write down his final copy on final copy paper, right?
Yes, indeed. But yeah, now is the time to focus on what matters. What matters is the rise of totalitarianism. Okay,
But you
this is
can't align
not
with the
at
left,
odds
Amanda. Are you wanting
with
to align with the
focusing
left?
on your friends and your family. That's all part of fighting totalitarianism. I am so sick of people saying, just focus on what matters. What matters is defending
Your
the country and
community.
defending liberty
If
and
they're
defending
coming door
people.
to door and abducting your neighbors and gunning them down in the streets, like, this is what a high trust society looks like. People working
you.
together to bring groceries and alert each other to paramilitaries who are brutalizing people in the streets. Like,
Who don't show
what's
name
so funny
badges.
about.
who wear
was that?
masks, even though COVID ended like 6 years ago.
Stay home, stay safe. Yeah.
Yeah, they're wearing masks. They don't want you to identify them, and they have no accountability. And it creates a dangerous situation. The second that the laws no longer protect the people, the laws are no longer going to protect the state, and we're going to end up in a large shooting war. I mean, I was looking at a video from Fremont, Nebraska, where a person with a Trump sign ran over a student at a high school, it appears, who were out protesting ICE, ran him down. That's the kind of violence that we're going to see. And we're going to see it on all sides here. We are going to see that happen, but there's no incentive to tone down the rhetoric. These paid accounts on X and on Facebook and wherever else, they get paid by sowing division. The politicians
I just started blocking them. I just started blocking the obvious engagement farmers.
But they are going to create this shooting war, just as has happened to totalitarian regimes all across the world, just like what happened in Rwanda. I don't think we'll go to that situation, that extreme here, but that's what they do. They put out their propaganda, whether it's real or not, they don't care. They don't give a damn whether their propaganda is real or not. They don't give a damn about the truth. As long as the other side is being punished. As Tim Pool said, what was it? It's my boot on your neck.
Oh, God. How delusional is that? Right. As long as you voted for it and you simp hard enough for it, it's not going to be turned around back onto you.
But this is the
go ahead. No, go ahead.
This is the scourge of non-ideological politics. Because if politics is just all blood sport and tribalism, then we can just say, okay, well, then my guy is in power, so I'm okay with these acts of violence being visited against the people that I don't like. And I have been someone who has gone shamelessly on the record as saying all tactics need to theoretically be on the table. Mm-hmm. But what's it for? And it's got to be for something more than a particular policy. It's got to be for something more than anything collectivistic. It has to be for something that transcends one particular sphere, whether that's immigration, whether that's the economy, whether that's a group of people that you can collectivize and therefore like alienate their individuality. It has to be for an actual cause that extends beyond the self and beyond one group, right? It has to be for a first principle. There is no first principle here in what's happening. This is all superficial blood sport. This is all tribalism. You cannot articulate an ideology that's found here. And that's not the kind of thing that we should be willing to engage in all tactics to preserve and to advance. All tactics can be on the table when there is actually some substance to defend. There's no substance here. There is no substance. There's no ideology. And so this is what happens. And you get people defending the state because right now the state is going after what? Some class of people that I don't like. Again, I said this a couple weeks ago. You are playing into every Marxist class warrior's hands with this bullshit. If you're like, oh, well, they're a communist, so they deserve to die. Congratulations. You are now rooting with the state against the people because you think that someone had a different philosophy on economic exchange than you do. No clue but class war. That is textbook.
Even if you have to sell out on principles you've claimed to hold for, that's like one of the major parts of your brand. Like part of the Republican brand was that they were supposed to be the pro-Second Amendment party. Now they're the ones saying that, well, you can't, okay, you have a right to have a gun, but you shouldn't have it at a protest because that means you went there looking for trouble. These are the same people who say that you have a right to bring your gun into Starbucks with you, which you do, but
yeah.
Now
well, I have the right to bring my gun into Starbucks. You don't, Rose, because I disagree with you.
Now you've got MSNBC defending the Second Amendment. What I wanted to say, though, is that like if there's anything that is like if there's anything that I would consider reassuring, it's the fact that like every other tyrannical regime that's halfway competent knows, like they know when to have their agents' backs and they know when it's time to throw their agents under the bus. This is one of those situations where they do something on camera that is so blatant that, like, a competent tyrannical regime would have made a big fuss out of saying, oh, well, that was completely out of line with our training. Okay, they completely violated policy. We are going to investigate this, and they will be, if there's evidence that they violated this person's rights, they'll be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. There would have been a trial and conviction. They would have made a huge show of it. And people would have been like, okay, well, clearly these were just a few bad apples, but I still support what they're doing overall. But they just maybe they need to look at their training program to make sure that this doesn't happen again, and to make sure that their people are better trained. Maybe they need to look at their tactics. But in this case, like, they can't even do that much. They immediately jumped to defend a full-on execution in the streets. Like,
Well, and then they tried
losing
it.
them. It's losing them their audience. They're
I-
losing the NRA. They're losing some of their biggest influencers who are
Not
like,
really,
wait a
no.
minute, you can't say that because this guy had a gun that automatically means that he was there to cause trouble. Okay, that's
But
a
see,
dangerous view to be promoting.
I agree and disagree, right? Like, so they have tried to have a fall guy and Bovino. Is it Bovino? But I get him and Dan Bonte.
Way
and
too
stuff.
long after the fact, though. It
Well,
took them like 2 days to.
But I think there's a strategy in that too, right? Because you get in international relations a lot, you'll get these despotic regimes that will sign on to human rights treaties and then flagrantly violate them to prove that they don't care, right? And so I think there is some kind of strategic play in not having a fall guy, in being so blatant and in saying, yeah, no, we did that, and you know what, it's right. It's one of those things that you kind of have to, it's a fine line to walk, but that's what I see them doing more than anything, so that we are no longer surprised when the courts issue injunctions as they have, and the injunctions are just ignored. When state lawmakers like, don't do that, and the federal government's like, no, we're going to do it, and state lawmakers like, okay.
That's illegal. Yeah.
Well, and,
Yeah.
and
People
Trump
still
thinks that by
expecting
doing this,
injunctions
that they're
to
going to
work.
get the Insurrection Act, right? They think there's going to be riots.
Well, that's the
They're gonna do
play,
this, they're gonna
but it
push it
seems
up.
like it feels like perhaps they overplayed their hand there. But I mean, there's
Oh, I
yeah,
think so,
Trump
yeah.
has wanted. He's been wanting to invoke the Insurrection Act from day one. Like,
Oh, he'll get to.
been
He'll
obsessed
get
with it. But
He will, because he does everything that he thinks about, because his demented brain will keep going back to the same stuff over and over and over
Mhm.
again.
But what people
And-
don't get, though, like, Trump doesn't really have any solid principles of his own. Like any malignant narcissist, he wants to be worshipped, and he wants to get revenge on the people who he feels wronged him. So he will turn on and throw under the bus anyone who he thinks is getting in the way of his goal of being worshipped.
That's
So,
very true. And
he
he may be
will,
the least dangerous
yeah.
one because of that. Like J.D. Vance is
Right.
dangerous because he hates the idea of liberalism in the classical sense. He's
Mhm.
a liberal. He thinks that it should go away, like many in the Mises Caucus believe, right? There should be no democratic elections. There should be all power in the hands of Hans Hermann Hoppe or whatever. It's a liberal idea, but that's what they believe in. That's why they align so well with a tyrant like Donald Trump, with the tyrants like J.D. Vance. There's a reason why Angela McArdle wants J.D. Vance as president. They align well with a tyrant like him because that's what they believe. They don't believe in liberalism in the classical sense like our founding fathers believed in, or like libertarians believe.
Right, and
support-
then you've got people like Stephen Miller who are pushing the ethno-nationalism. Like his goal is not, it's not just deporting people who are here illegally. Like he's if the sources are correct, like he's the one pushing this idea that we also need to start denaturalizing U.S. citizens if they deserve it.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Um,
Trump himself, like, I don't get the vibe that he has any particularly strongly held beliefs. So he will throw these people under the bus if his public image and his support tanks hard enough. So
No, Trump-
that's right.
Trump is a
But he has the
may
mind
be
to do
like,
it. And I'm
Trump
not
just-
convinced he has the mind anymore to do it.
true. Yeah. Well, I mean, he's obviously being used by people who are using him to advance their agenda. And like, I expect like if he gets impeached, yeah, it'll be fun to watch. But like, I kind of expect that to happen. I think that the people who are pulling the strings are going to turn on him eventually once he stops being useful to them.
we have seen a remarkable showing of nothing from Democratic lawmakers, as we expected. Tim Walz, everyone, much to our dismay, is not running for public office again. He has he's going to pursue a new career auditioning for Archie Bunker on low rent reruns of whatever show Archie Bunker was on. I don't remember because I've never seen, but I have heard the character Archie Bunker, and it seems right. All in the Brady Bunch, as Kyle just reminded us. Yeah. So yeah, Tim Walz is taking his ball and going home to his nice cushy mansion, and will not be helping defend the people because he never did. Meanwhile, Democrats were intending to hold up Congress by refusing to pass a funding bill.
After seven of them voted to increase ICE's budget by, what, $10 billion?
Yes,
Republicans would have shut down the government over a tan suit, and the Democrats, they have a national crisis on their hands. Like, oh, we can't, if we might get a little bit of welfare somewhere out of this. We'll sell out everything else to get our little bit of welfare.
They had one chance to make up for the fact that seven of them voted yes on the
but
last
they
bill,
care
and
a
they
lot
dropped the ball again
about their vacation, and
It's,
so
yeah.
rather than refuse to pass a bill unless it required ICE agents to be unmasked, all things the horror of unmasking the secret police, the Democrats just took a little bit more of your money, called it a day, said they could live with the people dying in the streets, and are going on vacation.
As long as they could go to recess, which I understand. Recess is where the best slides are.
They do condition you in elementary school. Like there'll be that one kid that won't follow just instructions, and they'll pressure everyone to get angry at the kid who's not following instructions, because otherwise you all can't go to recess until that kid is
was
forced into
Amanda.
compliance.
Well, no, I started a general strike among the elementary school patrols when I was a kid. I'm not even joking.
I'm like, if we all just refuse to do the homework, they can't do anything.
Yeah.
If we all just refuse to listen, if we all just push past the teacher and go to recess anyway, what are they going to do? They wouldn't listen to me. No one ever listens.
Well, today they would probably shoot you for doing something like that 10 times in the back. So.
Yeah, I mean, I would have been a terrorist.
I might republish All Patrols Are Bastards too, because I know where ICE agents come from, and they come from Fairfax County Public Elementary Schools. I'm not joking. They all come from the patrol system at Wakefield Forest Elementary. That's right, Ms. Vitt. Sorry, I was actually Ms. Aliff, but Miss Vitt was just kind of a bystander. But anyway, no. So
she's watching this show right now and sad.
She's probably it's terrible. I'm gonna get like some kind of email. We had patrols when I was in elementary school, which was like glorified hall monitor. I don't know if anyone else had patrols in other parts of the country.
Oh, so you're a hall monitor libertarian.
We've literally talked about it.
I know. So I'm gonna be
so you know they existed in Georgia.
I don't think about what happened in your weird country, Kyle. They tried to institute reporting quotas for students, monthly quotas, because not enough students were getting reported. And it was the student patrol captain that did this. I won't name her, but she was a neighbor of mine. The student patrol captain who did this, and I thought it was absurd. It was putting numbers over people, and so I got the patrols, a lot of them, to just stop reporting people. So the numbers dropped even further. The reporting totals dropped even further. And so then they ratcheted up the quota even more. They're like, after one warning, you have to report anyone. But nobody was getting reported. So general strike in my elementary school. But ICE agents come from Fairfax County elementary schools. And I will defend that. Because
the conditioning.
It is. It's absolutely conditioned
early.
Children to be petty career tyrants. Mm-hmm. Like they all went on to middle management, or if they had enough muscle, ICE, Customs and Border Patrol.
And they go around saying, if you raise your voice, I'll erase your voice.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, that was so lame. That was so lame. we did also learn that one of the main things that that Trump was after is no way, Kyle. I thought you were from the country, Georgia. Alexis just corrected me that you meant the state. Oh wow, that changes it because I definitely thought Kyle, you were from the country, Georgia. Oh wow, okay.
That's why you speak like this.
Tragic. Okay, well, yeah, your accent is just spot on. I would never have guessed you weren't from the country of Georgia. We have learned that one of the things that Trump is after is voter rolls from Michigan. One of the conditions on which Customs and Border Patrol and ICE will leave Minnesota, we're told, is if Minnesota forfeits their voter rolls. What's going on here?
For anyone who thought that who still thinks that this is about immigration law enforcement, they're telling you point blank what the actual goal is, and there are people who still think that this is about enforcing immigration law, even though Minnesota has fewer undocumented immigrants than several other states where they could be devoting their resources. They came to Minnesota for some reason. It couldn't possibly have anything to do with Trump saying that he won Minnesota back in 2020 and 2024. Look, I'm one of the first people to say, there is very likely a lot of shady shit that goes on with the electoral system. Okay, I think both parties will do whatever they think they can get away with. However, if there were evidence of shady business that happened during one or more elections, unleashing a campaign of terror against the civilians in order to get the voter rolls is next level evil. That's like war crimes tribunal level evil.
Since we're talking about ICE, I've got a 1-minute clip lined up here that shows exactly how people should be handling ICE and why we, consistently speak about the Second Amendment here and everything else, and why, despite the way Alex Preddy was treated, we support the Second Amendment for protests. And so I'm gonna show this really quick, which no one else expected this, so sorry.
I hope it's not a weird pun.
There we go.
Get the fuck out of this motherfucker now!
Hey, don't be coming up on me. Stay right there.
You're my property,
Stay right there.
I'm telling you now. Get the fuck out of my property. You're violating my Fourth Amendment. Get the fuck out of my fucking house. I'm not fucking with you. Both of you, all three of you. Get the fuck out of my property now. Now.
No, we're just looking for someone.
No, that's fine. Get the fuck out of my fucking house. All of y'all. You too. Now.
You better back up.
I better not do shit. You're my fucking property. What the fuck you gonna do? You gonna violate my court?
Back up.
You violate my court? I got my ticket.
It's okay.
Get the fuck out of my property. Get the fuck out of my property. I will shoot you the fuck down out of my property. Get the fuck out now. Now. Get the fuck out of my fucking property. Back the fuck up.
If you didn't hear that, what he stated was, "You're violating my Fourth Amendment, and I've got my second." That's what you should do. They should make it very clear. I should know that if you're going to violate our rights, we are going to protect them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to violate my neighbor's rights, I'm going to protect those too.
It's not an accident that they're targeting states where people are less likely to be armed and less likely to have things like solid castle doctrine and solid stand your ground laws.
Correct. Although apparently they're drawing down their presence in Maine after Susan Collins threatened to give them what for? What kind of for can Susan Collins give them? I don't know. I don't know anymore.
Losing
everyone knows that she's secretly a powerful heavyweight boxer.
Potentially.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like I am, so don't judge.
I would pay to watch Susan Collins beat the shit out of Donald Trump. I don't really care if he gets to fight back.
I thought you were going to say Amanda for a second.
I mean,
is running for governor of Minnesota, and I think that she will fight Donald Trump. You know, the way she throws stuff at staff, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
I want to see that meeting.
It
when she stabs him with a fork.
If Walz is stepping down, can Kara Schultz run?
Yes. Hopefully.
Yes.
I'd like to go ahead and I'll consider moving to Minnesota to vote for Kara.
And this is where we start our like our own version of the Free State Project in Minnesota?
No,
No,
we just had
please
snow here and ice for a week.
do
and people
not-
can't get out. We are
Yeah.
not doing that.
concentrate libertarians in one spot. It never ends well. I as a student of history, the last thing that you want to do is be like, we're our own independent group of anarchists / libertarians over here, not harming anyone ever. Don't ever, never do that. Attack the mainland. And
Then you end up
that's my
like Jeremy
point.
Kaufman.
Yeah. Yep. There's that. Did we cover? I mean, there are a lot of stories to cover, but I think we threw a bunch of them in there. It's kind of like a story burrito, just all wrapped up in the tortilla of
The tortilla.
of ice. Someone please save me from my puns.
How about the Melania movie?
listen.
Have anyone got their tickets to go see the Melania movie?
Oh yeah, she's a person who exists. And that's
Is she?
pretty much all I know about Melania Trump.
That's
Yeah.
about as much
Now
as
for a
people need,
lighter
right?
story, the Melania movie ticket sales.
They're having to pay people to go and sit in the theater.
Paid protesters, paid agitators.
Exactly, like the
That's why they make
progressives
that
pay protesters.
accusation.
Conservatives are paying people to enjoy the Melania movie. I don't
Are
see
you
anything
telling
wrong
me
with
it's a lighter story?
You know this is going to end up like his Nobel Peace Prize when they don't give her whatever award.
that. Like some kind of Oscar. Can she get an Oscar?
I would assume so. I
Or
mean,
is it
he's
like
going
her
to
origin
somebody is going to end up giving her their Oscar for this film. You know.
Producer Jeremy has pointed out that what she should get is a Razzie, and that is the correct response.
All right. Have we exhausted the story? So I'm surprised because I thought we had a whole lot, but again, we kind of
well, we
jam-packed it
could
in there.
talk about that brilliant deal that Trump made with Iceland, where he got the same deal that we've had since the 1950s, but it's different this time because he threatened to invade them and said that we could do this the easy way or the hard way. And after they refused to sell him Greenland, he made a deal with them and got the same deal we already had with them.
Yes, but it's different, as you said, because there was a threat prior. So Trump's a peacemaker. Trump successfully stopped himself from invading Greenland. And for that, Trump is the peace president because he could have invaded Greenland, but Trump talked Trump down.
Well, you've heard about his
And
plans for the one world government, right? The
only
Board of
he-
Peace.
Yeah.
The Board of Peace, yeah, where Putin's on the Board of Peace. The Belarus dictator's on the Board of Peace. He is, of course, chair on the Board of Peace until he dies. He's just replacing NATO and the UN with his Board of Peace.
So
It'll be twice as effective.
this is a question for the audience, because I think that if we actually give our opinions up here, YouTube might pull us. X wouldn't, because X doesn't care. But how do you think Trump leaves office? Do you think he dies of natural causes? Do you think he dies because someone like close to him killed him? Do you think he dies when the people kill him? Or do you think that he's actually, a demon and lives forever and continues to be over the Board of Peace? Tell us in the comments.
I don't think the comments can move that quickly.
Well, so I'm giving them time. I agree with Jocelyn. Like and share the stream.
Do like and enjoy the stream. Also subscribe to us on YouTube because it helps. It helps the algorithm. Subscribe to us on X if you can do that. And subscribe to the Torch. Get notified of new articles. Submit articles to the Torch. Hit me up on Discord or get me on my email. And unless your name is Kyle Davis, I'll probably publish your article. Kyle and I just have a running joke where I don't publish his work, and it's fantastic. I love it. So yes, thank you everyone for joining us, and do watch our stream with Kara. It was wonderful to have her on, and we'd love to have her back soon. We're streaming. I think we might be streaming tomorrow night. John Ponte wants to talk about some of the resolutions that Austin Martin has proposed valiantly as an alternate. Of
Did AI
alternates.
write these resolutions? But I've not read them.
Yes.
So I can't comment with
Yes. Yes, indeed. But you'll be happy to note that Austin Martin also called out Stephen Nikela for using AI to cite the relevant portions of Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised, telling Austin that Austin could not submit resolutions. So it was just a couple robots arguing with each other, as is the wont of the other business list, the inferior business list, comrades. And we will be speaking about that, I think, tomorrow night. We will also be streaming the comment streaming the next LNC meeting, which is when?
February.
February. I thought it was the 1st or the 4th. I didn't think it was one of those. I think it's the 1st, right? Because that's a Sunday.
It's almost certainly not the 4th.
Okay, so the 1st probably of February, and we will be back again on Thursday for the business list. Once again, there are cops outside. Until next time, guys, we are the business
Maybe we
list.
should keep this.
We're gonna say anarchy, and we're gonna say anarchy. Full transparency. Now I wanna see anarchists on the business list. Destroy!